Welcome to Fort Fritz, your one-stop for news, current events, and all forms of entertainment relating to the supernatural, the paranormal, the Fortean, and things that go bump in the night. All packaged and presented by four know-nothing know-it-alls, entertaining the unknown. Hi, I am Fritz, and joined as always by co-host Mandaddy.
Hi.
And Angela.
Yo.
Kaz has the night off.
Oh.
We begin our story in Peru. The Nazca lines. Do you guys know what they are?
Are those the desert lines with the rocks that seem to be making them? Okay.
They are. So scientists and researchers have recently found there was one more Nazca line that they had never seen before when they looked at a cliff. It was about 120 feet long, and it's believed to have been created around 200 BC to 100 BC, and it is a cat.
Yes.
There he is. Here, this is from Coast to Coast.
Archaeologists in
kitty.
Peru
Yeah,
have
big old
discovered
kitty.
a new outline of a feline on a hillside in Nazca. They were carrying out maintenance in the area during the coronavirus
Nigel?
pandemic.
It's
Such giant outlines are normally made of stones and are known as geoglyphs.
It's so cool. Look at him.
The cat-shaped figure had been almost completely erased.
And then now they've been working on it, so we will be able to see the kitty cat of the Nazca lines in Peru for a long, long time. See, that's archaeologists doing God's work.
Yeah, that's true.
Finding cool stuff for us to look at.
That is
Yeah, exactly.
so cool.
And you know how many cultures have drawn cats in caves, walls? The Egyptians, hieroglyphs, and now we have the Nazca lines as a little kitty cat.
They've always been
Obviously,
here.
they
And
are
it's
the
big.
gods that we should worship.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no problem with that.
A meowist.
I completely accept our new cat masters. Cat Masterson would be a good name for a politician.
That would.
We already had Bat Masterson, good in Cat Masterson.
Cat Masters.
Cat Master. They call me Cat Master.
There's been a lot of sightings from the Mothman in Chicago.
I know.
So we've been talking about the
Yes.
Mothman for a very, very long time. In January 2020,
Friend of the show.
friend of the show, January 2020, there were 8 Mothman sightings in the last 3 months in the Chicago area. There were 55 sightings in Chicago in 2017 alone.
Wow.
And the Mothman was seen by two different pilots at O'Hare International Airport on June of 2020.
Oh, wow.
So this thing has been just all over the dang place.
He's out during COVID?
Yeah,
He's immune.
he doesn't care.
He's immune.
If
to
we
some
know
of that.
Mothman, and we do, shout out, friend of the show, he's
up?
not going to be afraid of some virus that only affects humans, you know?
Yeah, and only 99.9% of them libtard.
A USPS employee who works the loading dock at Chicago O'Hare recently saw the Mothman. So this is from singular14.com. Manuel Navarrete of UFO Clearinghouse, pretty cool website, recently received the following report from a woman who said she'd seen a 7-foot-tall, red-eyed creature after leaving work at the United States Postal Service sorting facility in Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. So this was September 24th. This was her account. I had just left work at the USPS sorting facility. Shout out, USPS.
What's up?
At O'Hare Airport at about 11 p.m. on Thursday, the 24th of September, and was walking out to my car when I saw something standing at the far end of the parking lot where I usually park. So she thinks it's this big, tall guy with a coat, and then she...
Like really tall guy with a cat.
Yes. She beeps her car alarm to unlock her car, and the headlights come on too. That startled this object, and it then turned and looked at her, and that's when she saw the head of a barred owl, the red eyes, and then it like opened up its 10 to 12 foot wingspan.
Oh, no.
And she said she was like, and
Yeah.
just ran around it and then opened up the
It
car
flew
door.
over.
And
It flew over, I
it
think.
continues. I saw that this was not some person, but
Stood
some
there
red-eyed
flapping at her.
creature, and what appeared to be a coat were actually wings. At first, I thought it was some kind of very large bird. This thing then started making chirping sounds.
There's always that's a common thing is the chirping sound. What a weird thing.
This thing, it made some type of screeching sound, and then later on, she says similar to brakes, like screeching brakes. She then said it took off running toward me.
Well, that's almost creepier.
Yep.
You know, because flying, you'd just be in shock and almost in awe because, oh my God, how majestic. But that thing running at you?
I bet it's really grotesque.
Then right
Yeah.
here, it got to within 10 feet of me and took off into the air and flew above me.
Ah, there it is.
That's when she ran to her car and said, I don't know where it went. I don't care. It was gone.
It was not in my
If
life
it's not
anymore.
near me, I'm good.
We separated.
And that would stick with you. That would just that'd be like, what's going on? Well, I saw a Mothman. I'm like, for the next month or so, that's all you
I
just.
feel like you
I
have
saw a
some
Mothman.
weird PTSD from that.
Oh,
That
for
was
sure.
very traumatizing.
How much gas do you need and what pump? Oh, I saw the Mothman. I mean,
Right.
That's all you
Probably
can
go into
talk
shock. You'd like go to Taco Bell. You'd get home.
about. Yeah, I get
Everyone would be like,
Mothman.
everyone would be like, why didn't you give me anything? You're like, shut up.
That's not the Mothman.
It's all Mothman.
Could I get the cheesy Fiesta potatoes? Well, we don't have potatoes anymore, but for you, buddy, sure.
Yeah.
He's
Because
back
it's all
there
the Mothman.
chopping up potatoes.
The Mothman's back there chopping up potatoes.
I don't know.
The
maybe.
Mothman. You're saying the
He's gotta-
Mothman took the potatoes away from Taco
Got to
Bell.
work.
Going into cryptozoology a little bit more. Cryptozoology, of course, is when you got a Sasquatch, you got a Mothman, you got a Whoozy Wuzzy out there. You don't know what it is.
That's a team up. That's a team up America needs right now.
A Whoozy Wuzzy?
No, Bigfoot and a Mothman.
Oh, for
Who's he?
sure.
Was he?
So-
or Whoozy Wuzzy would be nice too.
This was a sea monster photograph
Ooh.
from 1936, and you can see it at realradio.fm.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
This was taken in the air from a man named Mr. Peltier. His name is Mr. Laurent Peltier. And he was taking a trip from, I don't know, let's say Saigon to France. And this is actually the 1936 newspaper. On October 1st, 1936, there was still a long way to go from France when he took a seat in a small plane in what is today Iran. The country doesn't exist anymore. Jask. He was just, chilling out, and over Hormuz, he saw this eddy in the water, this flap of white, and he goes, and when you're in a plane, it was like a single engine propeller plane, kind of like that.
Ugh.
Photos there. You can see 100 meters into the sea below you. So he goes, he sees this animal, this creature, making this turn, and that's when he decided to pick up his camera and took a photo of this. And you can see the shadow of the plane down there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the actual
Mhm.
newspaper clipping, shadow of the plane. And you see, look at that, woof, that frothy,
Mm-hmm.
but it does look just like the Loch Ness Monster.
It does.
In your head, yeah.
It's got a little tadpole head right there, a little serpentine neck.
Got a little tapo head.
And
Kinda
then this,
The plesiosaurus shape.
exactly.
Kind of.
Thank you, Angela. And then this little bulge that he likened that to as if a python ate a sheep.
Oh, that is adorable.
Has he seen that?
I don't know.
Is that just his go-to?
I don't know.
I mean,
I look like I'm a python who ate a sheep tonight.
Martha, you look pregnant. Have you eaten a sheep, my love? Oh yeah, you're getting some ass tonight. So so he thinks it was
that was bad.
a Loch Ness. What do you think? Did Mr. Peltier? And this, by the way, was 2 years after the surgeon's photograph of Loch Ness that we all know, that iconic, now known to be a hoax photograph.
Right.
This was 2 years afterwards. What do you think?
Once again, there's a lot you can do with photography, trickery, even in that time when it comes to just creating images, dodging light and whatnot. But that does look like what you think when you think of a sea monster.
It does.
That's just like prototypical sea monster. There it is.
This was meticulously inspected and enlarged. They are formal. There is no trace of trickery or rigging. This photograph is real. The
Right.
interpretation which is made of it is necessarily subject to discussion, but it is astonishing that this document has remained completely unnoticed for nearly a century. I would say yes.
So you're the first person to find this? You just found this?
This is from strangereality.blog, and it is translated from French to English. For instance,
Ah,
you can see it right
okay.
there.
So the French have been hiding it, is what you're saying.
There's
I-
French.
maybe. I have no idea.
They've been hiding us. The French have been hiding the monsters, everyone.
There is what is it, the thing when your brain makes patterns when you see something?
Hallucinations.
No, there's a word for it.
Pareidolia.
Last
Yes, there's a apophenia and then
Pareidolia.
pareidoia.
Pareidoia?
Yes, where you just look at something and like it's the
brain
instinct
fills
that
in
we have. You
gaps.
fill in gaps and you find shapes and things.
Yeah.
Like,
And
do you
so-
see faces?
Oh, I see faces
Like
all
everywhere.
the time, everywhere,
Like everything.
and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
So this
You can
is,
look in that image and you can maybe
Yeah.
put like shading together and think, oh, that's what it's shaped
Yeah.
like. But
Because it conforms so much to like
right.
what you'd think.
So even
you're
if it's
gonna-
not doctored, which I can believe that,
Word.
sure, even undoctored photos can have patterns in them.
Yeah, you can still. I mean, that could also be a school of fish. It could be
A wave pattern.
Exactly.
I mean, think of how water always distorts a shape
Yes.
anyway.
Right.
And so he's getting a weird angle from a current and
Exactly.
a wave, and it's distorting just a whale,
Yeah.
So
Could be. Yeah.
It's just pretty neato, pretty neato.
it is. It is. But when you look at it, it does look like some Loch Ness shaped monster.
Yeah.
So yeah, who
Dino
knows?
beast.
We don't know anything that goes on underwater. There's so much mystery.
That's
Thank
the
you,
best.
Angela.
There's like, what, 72% of
Yeah,
the oceans
we
we
have
haven't
no
explored
idea.
at all.
Just
It's
think about cargo ships just riding over these things all day, every day,
Yeah.
and like no one knows what's underneath them.
And then
This
when they go
whole
missing, it's like, oh
world.
God, what happened to that cargo ship?
Well,
Absolutely
we'll-
weird.
We will never know.
We'll
And
never,
sometimes
ever
you
know.
don't. Yeah, you don't know. Such as you don't know if you pick up things, maybe you shouldn't take them home from a negative energy cursed place. For instance,
That's right.
this is from CNN.com. Travel.
Oh,
Tourists return
no.
stolen artifacts to Pompeii after suffering
They
curse
brought them back.
for 15 years.
Take them back.
Yeah.
This was taken in 2005. A Canadian woman has returned 5 artifacts she took from Pompeii. She's identified only as Nicole, but she sent 2 white mosaic tiles, 2 pieces of amphora vase, and a piece of ceramic wall back to the archaeological park of Pompeii, along with a letter. She said, I wanted to have a piece of history that couldn't be that couldn't be bought. I was young and dumb at the time. So if you don't know, Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD, I think. Yeah, 79 AD, and just obliterated Pompeii. And it's cool if
Yeah.
you haven't seen it, but there's casts.
No,
of
no.
people-
cool.
It is. It's fascinating.
I've been there.
Is it crazy?
Of course you have.
I studied abroad, so
What was her name?
my professor, I took a Greek mythology course, and our professor,
Greek
she'd
mythology?
actually done a dig there, and so she brought us over there, and we basically got this private tour, and
Wow.
you could still see like shadow shapes of people,
Yeah.
like their bones. It's really sad.
The couples like embraced
It's
and yeah,
so
it's-
awful. Like they were literally just living their lives, like they were in the middle of their lives.
Yeah.
and
all of a
that
sudden,
happened.
no.
Yeah.
We can't ever seem to get ahead in life, Nicole wrote, back to the story, and she's blaming the bad luck on the tiles. She's had breast cancer twice,
Damn.
double
Oh,
mastectomy.
wow.
Damn.
Her family has financial ruin, and she said, I took a piece of history, captured it in a time with so much negative energy attached to it. People died in such a horrible way, and I took tiles related to that kind of destruction. So that's like murderbilia.
But that
Murderbilia.
next level
That's-
murderbilia. That's,
yeah,
you
that's-
know, catastrophebilia.
Yeah,
I
that's-
don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
Catastrophilia.
it's odd for sure. So she's returned that, and the archaeological museum has said that people do this quite often. A selection of letters and returned artifacts have been put on display at the Pompeii Antiquarium. Got it? She added, noting that while the value of the artifacts was not significant, the letters were interesting from an anthropological perspective.
Yep.
Pretty neat.
That's
So
fascinating.
this Nicole person convinced herself they were cursed, and that was why. Which
Or
is
they were actually cursed.
which is why this next man, Danny Frazier, I don't know what he was expecting, but he damaged a cemetery in an attempt to resurrect his grandma.
Huh,
I
okay,
guess,
we've all been there.
you want,
All
you want-
right.
It's called Jägermeister, people.
well, you want Meemaw back, I guess. So you go, well, I'm going to have to destroy every grave around hers, and then that'll
Right.
pop her back up. That's exactly what happened.
That's so
Hey, at least he had a plan.
Yeah.
At least he had a plan.
logical thinking.
Thank you.
A
Yeah.
Tennessee man, Danny Frazier, is accused of causing a staggering $30,000 in damage
Oh my.
to a cemetery in what he told police was an honest bid to resurrect his late grandmother. This is from coasttocoastam.com.
I mean,
So he meant it. Like he didn't just do it like, oh, I was totally joking.
wait a
Yeah.
minute. How long has she been dead?
8 years she's been passed.
Oh,
You're not getting it fresh.
you know what? I
Yeah,
think
come
think there's a
on.
window.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's Pet Cemetery rules. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, come on.
First responders in the city of Knoxville got a call about some vandalism, and when they arrived, they discovered several broken gravestones, as well as numerous puzzling holes that had been dug in the ground. It didn't take long for cops to crack the case, as they were quickly led by a witness to a man named Danny Frazier. When questioned by police, he promptly admitted he had been behind the brazen act of vandalism and offered a rather strange reason. He wanted to come from an altruistic place and resurrect his grandma, who passed away 8 years earlier and is buried at the cemetery.
Was this guy on meth?
I know.
I would hope for his mental well-being. Like he was just in a bad place, dark place.
But did he have like a spell idea, or like, did he think that like if I desecrate enough, it'll anger my grandma and she'll come out like, stop doing that, Danny? I mean, what's going on?
They don't have any drug paraphernalia charges. It just said that he was charged with
Criminal stupidity.
multiple felony counts of
Just
vandalism and
being
trespassing.
real weird.
Just being
And
really,
described by police chief as just really kind of weird.
really, really weird. All right, well, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to get into Man Daddy's stories. You are listening to Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Welcome back to Fort Fritz. I'm Fritz, and also joined by Angela.
Yo.
And now Man Daddy is going to talk at us. What you got, Man Daddy?
I got a bunch of media for you to watch in these times when we spend a lot of time putting our face holes towards the lookie box.
It's dangerous times.
It's dangerous times. So let's take a look. First of all, they had the season finale of Lovecraft Country.
Yes.
And
this is on HBO, right?
HBO Max and HBO, I think. That's the thing, because there's HBO and HBO Max, and they've split, and some stuff is only on HBO Max, and some is on HBO, so it gets kind of confusing. So I think Lovecraft Country is on HBO as well, but either way, it's definitely on HBO Max. And Jordan Peele and J.J. Abrams, and I enjoyed it. It had some ups and downs throughout the season. It had some moments, but overall, I thought it was really enjoyable. I want to see where it goes. I want to see what type of, there's some plot holes and things that seems like they might fill in that are done on purpose. So I'm interested to see if they go with those. And it touches on a lot of, current issues, especially when it comes to race relations in America. They did an episode that touched on the whole Tulsa bombings,
Tulsa race riots.
Tulsa race riots,
Yeah. 1921,
the destruction of Black Wall Street, which is something that it's just shocking that so many people are just learning about it. And I only learned about it like maybe 10 years ago, and that's pathetic. This is something that was so important in American history and such a dark thing, and that they're just now discovering more and more bodies that were
Right.
hidden.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing that pop culture shows like Lovecraft Country and like The Watchmen can actually bring something to the zeitgeist of America that we should have known a long time ago.
I agree.
And so that's very important.
And they do it in a very good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you feel it, where it's visceral.
Yes. Yes.
And so at the end with Lovecraft Country, I'm going to give it like a 5.25.
5.25.
5.25.
Out of 7.
Generous.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
it's not a classic. It's not a perfection like a 7 would be, but I think it's well done.
That is a 0.75.
I think that's about that. I think there's a little bit more nuance to the 7 beard pulls than it comes to normal mathematics, so I don't like to get into that.
This is Lovecraft Country?
Lovecraft Country.
Okay.
And so I just really enjoy it. Like I said, there are some ups and downs. There are some but there are some great shocking moments, and like with the first 4 episodes, it is a very scattershot show. They do throw a lot at you and try a lot of things.
They
But,
really
like,
do.
Yeah, but the way I felt about it with the first 4 episodes, and I was hoping they were going to kind of go with that. It seemed like every episode was exploring a different genre or trope.
Yes.
Like
They
one
did it.
episode
Yes.
was the monster, one episode was the witches, one episode was a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and so they kind of did
Yes.
play around with all the tropes.
I agree.
But so overall, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to see where they go with it.
So that was Watchmen?
No, that was Lovecraft
Okay.
Country. Yeah, Lovecraft Country.
You started talking about Watchmen, man.
Because of how the Watchmen brought up the Tulsa.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. So-
Watchmen was so good.
Now, another is a movie that is on Hulu, and it's from the Blumhouse. Welcome to the Blumhouse collection, which is 4 different movies.
That's getting to be very, very annoying to me.
Why?
Because it's like, okay, so you've been working on 25 goddamn movies, and now they're all released at the same time. It's like, no one's going to watch all of them.
Well, this is 4 movies, and I think it's done just for the Halloween season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like Hallmark when they come out with all their Christmas movies.
Yeah. It's
And
kinda like
I don't
that.
like that either. Angela, what's your point?
I don't watch any of those. They're too
Sure.
cutesy and pretty. It bothers me.
Yeah, when you're
Not everyone has
around,
full makeup like
No one's
that.
around Angela. Angela gets all cutesy.
No, I can't do it. It's too much. It's the same story.
It is. It really is. This is called The Lie.
The Lie?
The Lie. There's 4 different ones total. This is The Lie. And it's basically the basic premise is a teenage girl accidentally, I'm doing air quotes for you in Radioland, accidentally or not, kills her best friend. And then her parents covering up for her.
Ooh, this is on
so they
Amazon
know.
Prime.
That's the whole premise right there.
Oh.
And it does a good job with that simple premise. And the ending is really I enjoyed it. It's not necessarily a slow burn. It's like a really bizarre slice of life of like a family just going through a horrible slice of that life.
Yeah.
And it did a really good job. It's just it's subtle. It's not in your face when it comes to shocks and horror and everything like that. It's just a good tension filled movie where the tension just comes from you knowing what the other people don't, and how are they going to keep that information away, and how is it going to twist and turn, and the ending is nice.
Okay, so this came out in 2018. So this was not a newer film.
Let me
Well,
see.
it says right here on the TV.
So it's The Lie on Hulu. It actually came out in 2018, but it's been bundled with some movies called Welcome to Blumhouse. So it's like a collection that's on Hulu, and I enjoyed it. It is a slower burn. It's not a big thriller, but it was just an enjoyable ride. I mean, I say that a lot with movies, but that's what I'm looking for in a lot of movies. That especially in what we're going through in this year-long panic attack we call 2020, that. Just to have something that takes you away and does a good job where you're not reaching for your phone.
It's got a Skarsgård in it.
Oh, yeah.
It does have a Skarsgård.
Peter Skarsgård.
Love a Skarsgård.
A mandatory Skarsgård in anything that comes out since 2017.
Yeah, you really have to have
at
that.
least one Skarsgård. At least, even just in the background somewhere,
Right,
just to keep it,
right.
copacetic.
Or maybe like executive producer or something.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to have his name. He's got to have some hand or a finger in that cookie jar.
Hey.
So out of 7 beard
I'll
pools,
give that about a 4.3.
4.3.
No,
That's going to be
4.3.
0.614285714285.
It's better than average, enjoyable.
I'm not done. 7143.
Oh, I think it's 4-4.
I deal in all irrational numbers.
Okay, so that's not very impressive.
Well, I mean, it's enjoyable. It's like it's not something to go out and seek, but I mean, if you like something like that, if you're looking for a thriller, but that's a little more subtle, and especially the idea of being a parent and wanting to protect your child.
Right.
And like I said, the ending I found satisfying. So what people might not find it satisfying, I found it satisfying.
Well, over here it says 70% like this movie, so you're still close too.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got?
Now, this is one that's actually in the theaters right now, I believe, and also on video on demand. It's called Love and Monsters. It's got a few stars that people might know. I'm not familiar with them because I am ancient. But we watched this last night. Lady Daddy and I watched that. So
Nice.
that's how certain things, if we both watch it, you have a different vibe. And it was really an enjoyable monster movie with it having the love and monsters. So it's basically the Earth. There's a asteroid was coming towards Earth.
Look at this guy.
Everyone shot their rockets at the asteroids.
Oh my gosh.
Blew up the asteroids, but then the asteroids released chemicals that fell. The asteroid and the rockets leached chemicals that all fell to Earth and turned every cold-blooded creature into a giant freaking monster.
So this is
Nice.
Love and Monsters.
Yeah, so everything cold-blooded: lizards, giant lizards; spiders, giant spiders; crabs, giant crabs, and so. Everyone, I think it was 95% of the population of the Earth was destroyed, killed,
Whoa.
slaughtered.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, that's not nice, man.
Just
That's not
buckle
cool.
up for 2021 is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
It's not cool.
But
it's
and so
nothing.
everybody goes underground, and it's been 7 years. And this one dude, the protagonist, he had a girlfriend, and they got separated at the very beginning
Is
of
his
this.
name Dylan O'Brien?
That's the actor, isn't it?
That's the actor.
Okay, that's
He's
the actor,
Joel
yeah.
Dawson.
There you go. Yeah. But anyway, it's separated from his girlfriend, and they've been apart for 7 years. And they've been talking on the radio back and forth. And finally, he decides, I'm just going to go. And she's in a colony 85 miles away underground, and he's in a colony 80. And so he
You didn't say
decides
they
to
were
go.
underground colonies. That
Well, yeah,
sounds
that's
awesome.
that's where they had to retreat to get away from the monsters. 95% of the population is gone, and for 7 years they've been underground. And so it's just a story of him going and fighting monsters and meeting people on the way. Like Michael Rooker does a great job in his role. He's always kind of the same guy, but always does a great job at it.
Oh, he was in Walking Dead.
Oh yeah,
He was
and
the
he's also
asshole.
Yondu.
Oh, okay.
And-
Now, that went over my head. I have no idea who
Yondu
is.
is from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
He's great.
Amazing. He's
Yeah.
Cinderella.
Yondu?
No, excuse me, Mary Poppins. I'm an idiot. But it's just really good creature design, first of all, which I'm a fan of good creature design. And it's got a dog, and the dog doesn't die.
Oh,
Good
Spoiler alert,
to
but it's got a
know.
great dog, and there's so many scenes where you're like, don't kill the dog. If this kills the dog,
Oh, I
I'm
get
gonna be
stressed
mad. I'm
immediately.
gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad. Oh, this will give it to you. This will give it to you.
Yeah.
But
does the dog talk?
no, the dog never talks.
Okay.
The dog never talks. It's a great dog. Great dog.
I was trying to look up the actor who played the dog. Could that
Well,
find-
Bob
that's a dog
the
actor.
dog. But really enjoyable. It's a trope that has fun with the trope, and it doesn't end the way you think it would.
Yeah.
In a good way. It turns the ending, which is nice. And so I had a really good time with this. I'll give this one a 5.8. You know,
a 5.8 out of
Yeah.
7.
I'll give that a
okay.
5.8.
Nice.
Really,
Okay.
really enjoyable.
Let's see
Just
here.
Fun.
That's going to be 5.8. Ooh, that's going to be an 0.8285714285714286. So that's 82.8%.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's just well done, well acted, really good pacing. Which that's a big thing with certain movies, especially when you have movies that involve spectacle. That sometimes like, okay, am I just going to be tired waiting for the next spectacle?
My
you know?
man.
Right.
And so never once reached for the phone, never once got really bored. It was just enjoyable.
This is a very high-rated movie on Google. 92% like this movie.
Wow,
Wow.
wow,
nice.
that's crazy. It's a fun movie. It really is. It's great escapism.
So that's
You-
Love and Monsters.
Yeah, you really pull for the main character, and you love the dog, and the way it ends is satisfying in an interesting way. It's totally enjoyed it. Really, totally enjoyed it.
And was this a Blumhouse too, or no?
No. This
Okay.
is Paramount, I believe.
And it was directed by Michael Matthews. I have no idea what that means.
No,
I
no,
just
no.
wanted to say,
Yeah.
man.
Who's he?
And then finally, something that this is actually just stupid. It's Adam Sandler. Once again, Adam
wait, hold on, let
Sandler.
me guess. Hubby Halloween?
Hubie
or
Halloween,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It is just funny,
Is it?
stupid.
Okay.
There we
It's
go.
All right.
kid friendly. It's kid
Okay.
friendly. It actually has callbacks to his old movies. There's an O'Doyle in it.
Yes.
There's an
That's
O'Doyle.
awesome.
There's a few other callbacks. It's just funny, stupid, goofy. Like, if this angers you, you've lost all love and happiness. It's just funny. It's just
It's
funny.
Netflix, right?
It's Netflix.
Yeah,
It's a Netflix
just
original.
throws money at Adam Sandler. Like,
Oh,
do
yeah.
whatever, man.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and it's just a fun movie. I'll give it a solid. I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5 all day long.
Okay, so
Okay.
5.
It's just fun.
See.
Hubie
It's
Halloween.
just fun. It's great for the holiday. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's completely bloodless, so it's family friendly as all get out. Some gross out humor, maybe a little bit of cussing. But other than that, it's just stupid and funny,
Right.
and you will laugh.
Yeah,
Unless you are
that's
dead
great.
inside, you will laugh.
A 5 out of 7 is 0.7142. And that's it. I'm not going to go all the way in because it's going to end with 143 again, which I think is odd. That number's been coming up a lot in my life.
Yeah.
Too much information for me.
Really?
That's
yeah.
a 71.4.
Okay, what do the people think?
The people, oh, buddy.
The people
The
think
When
think
did
it's
it get released?
82%.
Wow.
Okay.
The people even like it more than me.
Yeah, and again, that's Google because Rotten Tomatoes sucks. So
Rotten Tomatoes does get gained a lot by trolls and whatnot, and it sucks because I'm someone who's kind of against those aggregate sites, but I
Right.
always go to it. You know, it's like if it's a new movie that like on a streaming service that I haven't watched, and I'm like, oh, let's see what people think. You know, I mean,
Right.
it's like I'm against it, but I still use it. Same way with meth.
So do you? It's just him going around and he loves Halloween, so he's trying to make
No,
people
it's
safe.
just the typical Adam Sandler idiot character, the lovable idiot who just gets it though, but it's not making fun of mental issues. He's just
Then why did
that
you make
guy.
fun of mental
Because that's what he
issues?
sounds like.
Okay. It's like Christ.
No, he can get that. We're gonna go out here and I got
It's
my thermos.
baby talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He has baby
it's
talk,
Adam Sandler.
yeah.
You know,
Adam
And
Sandler
he's
baby
Water-
talk.
Water
he's got a
boy.
Swiss Army
Yeah.
thermos. That's the best thing in the whole movie. He has a Swiss Army thermos. But it's just funny and stupid, man. And it's something people need funny and stupid right now. Everything is so dark and so scary, and something like this that is just completely turn your brain off and laugh a little bit, I think is really necessary.
So there you go. You just heard from Lovecraft
Mandaddy's
Lovecraft Country. Well, you heard Mandaddy talk about Lovecraft Country, The Lie, Love and Monsters, and Hubie Halloween. So there we go. We're going to take a little break and coming back with Angela, and she's going to talk at us. You are listening to Real Radio 104.1.
Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Hi, and welcome back to Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1. I am your co-host, Man Daddy. Sitting right there is Mr. Fritz.
Hi.
And right now, Angela is going to educate you on a particular topic of her choosing. What you got for us this week? Should do a whole episode. Hello and welcome.
I love Angela making fun of Amanda. It's my favorite aspect of the show.
I've watched a couple of things on Netflix because, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, what else?
What else is going on?
Netflix's life.
Pretty much.
Did you guys watch The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix?
Oh.
I have heard mixed reviews.
Yeah, so that one came out a couple of years ago, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Haunting of Hill House was great.
I liked it, except I thought it got a little too monologue-y.
There
was some really thick monologues.
It could get a little slow. I agree. I do agree. But I really enjoyed that. That was, I think, 2018. And it stars Henry Thomas, who is the little boy from E.T.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of great people in it. Carla Gugino, Victoria Pedretti is a great actress in it. It's a great show. The Haunting of Hill House was great. It was super scary. The first episode.
Yeah.
One of the best things is just looking for the hidden ghosts.
Yeah.
Because there are a ton that you don't even know about.
The whole thing is just creepy.
Creepy as hell.
Yeah. The atmosphere is one of the things they nailed on that show.
So now this year they came out with The Haunting of Bly Manor, which was based on a Henry James novella.
Is it the same production house?
Yeah, same people, because they used the same actors. They just have them being completely different people. So it kind of has like an American Horror Story feel, where they're using the same actors, but they're telling a completely different story. They're completely different characters now. It's a whole new storyline.
And that's The Haunting of Bly Manor?
The Haunting of Bly Manor. Now, after you watch Haunting of Hill House, you're expecting, you like wring your hands like this is going to be good. Another scary thing to watch around Halloween.
Yeah.
Yes, it has its creepy moments because there are things about ghosts and terrible things that happened in the past, an unfinished business type of feel to it. But it's definitely more of a drama and kind of, I don't want to ruin it because the way that it ends, but there's a love story aspect to it.
Oh, so it's like, is that like gothic romance?
A little. This one's based in London. You have like Henry Thomas again, who I have to give him credit, does a fantastic British dialect.
Oh, really? Good for him.
Yes.
Because the British actors and actresses have been coming over here and destroying their American accents, doing so good you don't even know. And so I'm glad to see we can copy them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, really. When you watch...
We need to start taking more English actors gigs from them.
There's so many. I've gotten tricked so many times.
So many times. What's his name from The Walking Dead? When you first found
Andrew
out.
Lincoln.
Yeah,
Andrew
when you first
Lincoln,
found out, it's like, what?
Oh, completely blows my mind.
And Christian Bale.
I was going to
American
say
Psycho?
Christian Bale, and then he went up to do the MTV Movie Awards because he won something, and I was like, what?
I think that was the moment that a lot of people lost it.
What?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Because he was also in the original 90s Little Women.
Yep.
He played Laurie.
Oh, okay.
And that's an American movie, American story. The novella that The Haunting of Bly Manor is based upon is The Turn of the Screw by Henry James.
By Henry James.
Yes. Which I have never read.
Who cares?
About the novel or the fact that you didn't read
novel,
it?
No. It's an 1898 horror novella, so that's kind of neat. But
yes.
If it's that old styly, writing, I don't know if it's something I want to watch.
What's weird is I sometimes love all of that.
Yeah.
I just read The Awakening recently, and I just loved it.
I
There's
can
certain
dig that.
passages where they'll describe something that I have to read multiple times because I'm like, what a beautiful way to just describe you walking a path to the beach.
Yeah. Moby Dick was like that, and that was like 1848, I think.
Yes.
But it was like, it's a little, I don't know. This is 50 years after that, though, so maybe.
It's the story of like a governess coming to watch children after their parents have died, but there's all this haunted stuff going on in this house, and it's based in England. So it has these two little kids, and the actress...
I've heard a lot about the little kids.
If you've ever heard of the show that is for children called Peppa Pig.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who hasn't?
She is Peppa Pig.
Oh, my.
And I've never really, I don't have children, but I've been around lots of children, and the little girl who is Peppa Pig, she's one of the main actresses, and she's great in it, but she does have this like weird, like far off look on her face all the time, and I was like, is that the actress or is that like a character
I'll
thing
be damned,
that
she
she's
is Peppa
doing?
Pig.
and her name is Amelie B. Smith, and she's wonderful. But she is British because that's a whole thing with Peppa Pig.
Right.
British
All of my
as
friends
hell.
that have kids that watch that show, they're like, after my friends watch Peppa Pig, my kids just walk around with British accents all
Yeah.
the time. So she was a great child actress in it. The main girl who kind of comes to watch them, her name is or the actress's name is Victoria Pedretti. She's wonderful. It's a great story. It's shot beautifully, acted well, all of that. It's just not scary, and that's why you're getting all these mixed reviews on it.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause-
She's also in You, by the way.
I've never watched
really?
You.
Yeah,
I've heard
she's-
good things about that.
Love
but
Quinn in the second season
Well-
of the Netflix thriller series You.
I've only heard good things from women.
Okay.
yeah.
So, Haunting of Bly Manor, great, but I would not go into it thinking it's going to be as scary as Haunting of Hill House.
Okay.
How would you rate it? Or is it out yet? Is the
I-
whole series out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's Netflix. They dropped the whole thing. That was, I'd say about a 5. I give it a 5.
A
That
5?
was well done.
So that's 0.714285.
There you go.
See?
There it is.
Another wrinkle in the brain.
Little wrinkle in that brain. And then the other thing that I watched also on Netflix was, and this was awful. Do you guys remember that story about the dad who killed his daughters and his wife in Colorado?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Did you watch it?
I also watch it, yeah. An American.
It was American Murder, The Family Next Door.
So good.
And I feel terrible that I don't remember her name right
Chris
now.
Watts. And she
Chris
was
Watts.
like Ashlyn.
Nicole?
Shanann.
Shanann. That's
Shanann.
right. So this family, and she had been married before, I think. She was young. She was one of these like total type A girls, like
Annoying.
just totally
Good
driven.
God.
Just very
I'm so glad
she
someone
was
else said it.
well, she was very driven. Did you watch it as well?
No.
Oh, she was very driven. I think she'd been married before. She had like purchased like a really big house at like 25 years old.
She built
like,
that damn thing.
Yeah, she built it. Like she just really knew what she wanted in life. And then she finds this guy, ends up in Colorado. They have 2 girls together. She was pregnant with their 3rd kid. And like I guess there had been issues going on. And like there just seemed a lot of like immature drama with them. But she was one of those girls, and no judgment. But she was like always posting videos of her and her family, like constant
because
videos.
she worked for Thrive, which
Yes.
is one of those, ask me about that crazy rap.
Right.
What?
Like a pyramid scheme types
Okay.
of things, you know. It was constant with these videos of her kids, like her on social media all the time, posting about them, doing videos. Like there couldn't have been one life experience where it's like, no, do it again. I got to get a video of that. Like just live in the moment, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
She didn't seem like a bad person, but it was kind of annoying. It
She
was
doesn't
annoying.
deserve to get murdered,
No,
for sure.
no. That's what Mr. Angela and I like.
I mean, there's a line.
Like
If
that is
anyone-
exactly the conversation that Mr. Angela and I had. Like we're watching it, and I was like, I mean, this is really annoying how much she records, and then we both go, but doesn't mean she got to get murdered for it. You
Let me
know?
make that clear.
Let me make that clear. I don't
very
mean
clear.
that she deserved any of this.
We all have that friend that it's like, another selfie?
Yeah.
I saw you yesterday. I saw
Yeah.
you 4 hours
I know, and
ago.
I feel bad saying it's like,
But that's what social media has made,
Yes.
is that everyone gets that dopamine hit, that, oh my God, because I mean, all of us here are performers. We all
Yes.
know what it's like to be performers,
Sure.
and that is give you a break. We all know what that's like, and to have that reflection and to have that energy is just addicting in the highest level.
Of course.
And for someone who's never been a performer to get someone say, "I liked that thing you did,"
Yeah.
is just unique in most people's lives. Here,
Sure.
we all, crave it and seek it out and, put our lives towards it. There's some people that never have someone just go, wow, I like that little bit of you.
Sure.
Right.
And it just,
Right.
and it becomes like addicting when you've never gotten that.
No, that's a good way of putting that, and I agree. Yeah. So she's posting all these videos all the time, and they obviously had these issues, and they did that tactic that they do in movies and TV shows now, where they have their text messages up while they're showing images of things.
Yeah, that's what I love the most about this is that it's her. She's the narrator.
Well, here's the thing.
Which is
She is
cool.
the narrator,
Oh, wow.
and that is the good thing
That is unique.
about the fact that they have all this footage, that it's not just recreations and
So you get to be
reenactments.
the narrator of
You
your
are
own
literally
murder.
watching their whole life, and it's their own video. It's her videos,
Wow.
everything. Like that's the thing, is that you're like, well, we at least have all of this to watch to get a good feel of this family, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
For the autopsy.
and the sad thing, and their girls were so cute and beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously there was problems with their marriage, and she had gone away on some trip and came back, and whatever happened, the fight, whatever, he kills her and then kills them.
Is that the one where we put him in like the septic tanks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where he
oil
works.
tankers,
Oil
yeah.
tankers, where he works.
Yeah.
Because he, didn't want to have that life anymore. He wanted to have this life with his girlfriend. It's like, that's a pretty drastic thing to do.
Yes.
And going back to the movie you reviewed, how that girl killed her,
The Lie.
how she killed her friend and the parents covered it up. That scene where the guy's in the interrogation room and his dad's there with them.
Ooh, so rough.
And his dad's like sitting there with his son, like realizing his son had killed his granddaughters and his daughter-in-law.
And then he kept lying about it. It's just, it
Yeah.
really is fascinating. That's
Yeah.
American Murder.
American Murder.
The Family Next Door.
Family Next Door.
And that's on Netflix.
It's on
Is it
Netflix.
a series movie?
No, it's just a standalone documentary.
Standalone documentary.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
Their neighbors have all these Ring camera footage, and it's
Oh,
like
that's the best.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to.
The neighbor, I know, but the neighbor, he's just like, whoa,
Whoa.
yeah.
I think me and Lady Daddy have to put this in the queue.
What I love too is at the very end, it ends just white font on all black. It's like 85% of domestic abuse is man against woman, and like 9 out of 10 murders where the man commits the murder is premeditated.
Yeah.
And then it says like every 3 seconds a woman is battered by her
Oh, it's
significant
ridiculous.
other. And then it went all black and then the credits. And I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah,
I was like,
it
I
was
will
very
applaud
well
that
done.
all day.
Because it wasn't about him; it was about
Her.
her, it was
And
about
them.
her
The
and
fact
the girls.
that she's
Yeah.
the narrator, that's
Yeah.
like intense.
So
And it
That's-
goes back also to another thing that I reviewed, which was "I'll Be Gone in the Dark,"
Yeah.
which was about Michelle McNamara.
Oh, yeah.
And
Crazy.
that documentary, which was a series on HBO, really honored Michelle McNamara
Yeah.
because she honored the victims in the way she wrote about her crime. So
to give
it
them
was-
the voice they never had.
Exactly. So very, very well done. I really, really liked it. And then there was one more thing. I think it was Vampires versus the Bronx.
Oh, I was interested in that.
And it's kind of a PG-13. It's
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Really?
I don't even want to ruin it because it's fun. Again, it's like the Hubie Halloween. It's just
Awesome. That's what I need.
so
Awesome.
much fun, but it's got the great horror vampire things going on. It's
Did
a
you ever
great
see Attack
ride.
the Block? It was like a really just an interesting take on
Yeah.
a monster movie.
Very cool.
So what would you give American Murder, The Family Next Door, out of 7 Angelo replicants?
Ooh, I thought it was so well done. I'd give it like a 5.5.
5.5 out of 7. Let's see. That is a 0.7857.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right.
And what about Vampires versus the Bronx?
Ooh, I'd probably give that like a 5.
Okay, so that's a 0.714285.
We all know that.
All right.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. That's a lot of listening and a lot watching and stuff for you to occupy yourself with now. And now we're going to give you some other things that we think you should check out because why not? Everyone needs things to check out.
Yeah.
So, Fritz, what would you like the people to check out?
It's on Amazon Prime. If you got it, it's called The Vast of Night. It's a really cool, low budget, well done UFO invasion story, and the use of long takes really make it something special.
Oh.
Man, Daddy, what you got for us?
So here's something that I have been checking out thanks to you, Mr. Fritz.
What I do?
And it is something that I just really needed. I know you really want me to finish The Last of Us 2, which I'm enjoying, but it is such a dark game.
It's great.
And it's a great game, but it is a dark game.
It's
It is
dark.
an emotional game. And right now, my life is dark and emotional. And so what has been my escape is No Man's Sky.
Oh, yeah.
And when No Man's Sky came out, it was horrid. And everyone hated it because it made all these promises and it didn't deliver on pretty much any of them.
Yeah.
And so the company has been really putting their nuts behind it, and they have been coming out with new DLC, new patches, and free DLC constantly since it came out, 3.5 years ago.
Ooh, I think it was longer than that.
Almost 4 years.
Yeah.
And what they have done to that game, it is just a completely different experience. And one of the things they've done is you can either play the game as normal or you can play creative, where it's just go. Just go. Just go. Just go. And no fuel requirements. And there are over 3 trillion planets procedurally generated. And you could just zip around and just look and explore. And with me, because it's a weird split in my brain, because it's such a just slow, expansive, beautiful game, I listen to speed metal.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So I listen to speed metal and just zip around the universe and check out all these planets. And it has a great photo mode where if you sign because there's all these weird creatures, just get a little selfie with the creature. And just that game has been really giving me the mental break that I need from the amount of information that I'm just dumping into my cerebral cortex on a daily basis.
Okay, well then give it back. I want to play it.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
need to give it.
Nice.
It's
That's
like
awesome.
you need to. It's such a different experience now.
That's
than
No
what you
Man's
had.
Sky?
No Man's Sky. It's just
Awesome.
if you want to just, especially when it comes to the creative side, you can just explore and explore and explore, and it just gives you that break from everything that we all need. So Angela, what do you have for us this week?
If you want to see just some amazing joy coming out of a group of people, watch NASA land on an asteroid
Yes.
220
That's always
million
the
miles
greatest
away
joy you get to see out of people.
I
Science.
just like that when the Curiosity landed on Mars was like I watched that moment
Yep.
so many times, and then this was another one, and just watching a bunch of engineers like all wear the same polo shirt, you know, like looking very nervous and excited, and then standing up and cheering. It's one of the most beautiful things you can see of the human spirit.
You that's in reference to Osiris Rex.
Osiris
right?
Rex landing on Bennu, I think is
Bennu,
the name, Bennu of this asteroid. So I think that's just really fantastic.
It is
So if you
fantastic.
have not watched any footage of that, do yourself a favor. It'll inspire you. It'll
It
make you
better.
happier.
And now we have to wait
Positive
3
outlook.
years.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait 3 years for the samples to come back.
I know. That's a whole other journey.
Everything when
Yeah.
it comes to space exploration, it's just a long game.
Right.
I mean, it's just
And
things you
there's
completely
just, like-
forget about. And there's like, oh yeah.
It's like tinfoil with like this tiny little fan. It's just like
Yeah,
these
exactly.
little things that just these
Put-
materials.
put-
just-
put- 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 put.
it's so great.
That's awesome.
And
Yep.
if I might double check out American Utopia,
Okay.
David Byrne on HBO.
Oh, I really
Please
wanna
check
watch
it out.
that.
You talk about joy, and you talk about that. It's just joy. Please watch that.
Okay.
So that is what we have for you this week here at Fort Fritz. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Check out the whole podcast. You can find that all on iHeartRadio. We've got the Campfire Tales. We've got all types of content for you to check out. We get into a lot of monsters and UFOs and spooky stuff for you to check out. Thanks for listening. We are Fort Fritz on Real Radio 104.1.
Until next time, pleasant dreams.